Hey everybody, welcome back. Just thought I'd take a couple minutes to show you some books I came across at a local book fair. Now, all of these books that I have here were in a stack of books that were for free, so they didn't cost me anything. So I just thought I'd go over them real quick and kind of show you what I found. This one first, by Robert J. Kelsey, is called Walking in the Wild. This is a complete guide to hiking and backpacking. Now, keep in mind that's the complete guide to hiking and backpacking from 1973. So this book's a little over 40 years old. But the cool thing about it is a lot of the information that's in here still holds very true today. Now, there is some stuff that's kind of off balance. Got like charts here like this that show what you would need, like a list of stuff you would need along with like the given weights and things like that. Now, because of the advancements in sports equipment and hiking, backpacking and stuff like that, those weights are going to be fairly off, especially for a book that's 40 years old. But it's got some really interesting things about navigation, which was, kind of the main reason that I picked it up. It's got some basic camp skills in here, how to build shelters. Let me see if I can find any of the photographs in here, not photographs rather, but little diagrams and old school style pictures, that kind of thing. Kind of the type of pictures you'd see like in a scout book or something like that. But actually a fairly interesting read. So this is actually the kind of book, to be honest with you, this is the kind of book that, as you can see the condition that it's in, wouldn't hesitate to actually leave it like at a cabin or something like that. Put it someplace where the skills and the information that are in this book that may prove useful to somebody, they might need those. So I would actually leave this at a cabin or something like that. I mean, heck, it's a pretty thick book to be toting around with you in your backpack. But this is the kind of book that I would actually leave at a cabin or a not necessarily a campsite, but someplace where it was under shelter. Maybe put it in a plastic bag or whatever. And basically it's just a nice resource for somebody who may need some of this information to come across. So that was my first book that I found, Walking in the Wild. Again, it didn't cost me anything, so I thought it was kind of cool. I like old books like this. So the second book that I came across was Better Ways to Pathfinding. This is by Robert S. Owendoff. This book here is from 1964. Again, it didn't cost me anything. It says $4 up here in the corner. It didn't cost me anything. It was in the free stack. But what's cool about this book is it goes into pathfinding and a lot of really good navigation information. Some really cool artwork and sketches and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff. But really good navigation information. A lot of it's military based, and a lot of it is navigation by the stars and stuff like that. So this was a really cool little find. It's got all kinds of little maps in it and stuff like that, and again, a lot of cool, unique, little different, more scientific navigation information in here. So I thought it was a cool little book. For nothing, I thought it was an interesting little find. So pathfinding, there it is. Better Ways to Pathfinding, 1964. And the last book that I found that I'm going to show you in this set is from 1977, Orienteering for Sport and Pleasure. By now you're saying to yourself that you're sensing a theme with this video. Yes, all of these ones that I'm showing you right now have something to do with navigation. The first one, Walking in the Wild, again, that book, once you get into the meat of the book, it's as much about navigation as it is about bushcraft and that kind of stuff. But anyhow, Orienteering for Sport and Pleasure, Hans Bingston and George Atkinson appears to be who wrote this book. This book is really, really interesting. It's got, whereas pathfinding is highly detailed, more scientific pathfinding and wayfinding, this orienteering one is definitely more specifically map based in how to read a map. Obviously, it's based on orienteering, the actual activity of orienteering, and the competition, especially these days, of orienteering. And it's got a lot of really good information as far as how maps work, how to find your way around objects, how to find your way around massive areas of land, how to actually read a topographical map correctly, how to plot courses, how to stay on those courses, and again, a lot of cool information. Some of the technology stuff as far as like the actual compasses and it's a little outdated, but if you look at that picture closely, if you can even make that out in the video, they sell a lot of these same compasses today. So again, for a book that's as old as this one is and designed for actual sport orienteering, so it goes into a lot more of the specifics of the activity and of wayfinding and pathfinding, if you want to call it that, because again, orienteering is a competition, so they're going to want to get you the most specific information that you can possibly get out of that. So I hope I didn't bore you too much today, but that's what I had: orienteering, pathfinding, walk in the wild. Cool little books that I picked up at the book fair. They didn't cost me anything. Again, like I said, they were on the free table, so I thought they were interesting. And I've got a couple other books laying around here that I also was able to pick up the same way at the same place, so I might go over a couple of those. I might actually go into a little bit more detail on some of the other ones, but these, again, common theme here is wilderness travel. Again, even though these books are old, they hold some really, really valuable information. And again, I'm a huge fan of this one here, this pathfinding. The information, the technical information in this book is invaluable. So that's what I have for today. Again, I hope I didn't waste too much of your time. So until next time, I will either see you on or off the trail.